What is a universal fact? Some statement that is true always. So that is called as a universal fact. Shall, should, would, will, could, can, must, all these are called as modal verbs, and along with the modal verbs there has to be another verb that is used in the sentence always. Interrogative sentence, as I said, it's a questioning sentence. Exclamatory sentence, you are expressing your feelings there. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shalini, Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today we are here to understand one of the language component parts prescribed by University of Mysore for 4th Sem BCom. We'll just have a recap of what we did in the previous session, and today we'll be understanding about the changes that are made in adverbs while converting from direct to indirect speech, and also changing from interrogative sentences to exclamatory sentences while changing it from direct to indirect speech. Okay, so in the previous session we had a look at how to change the tenses and also the basic rules of changing from direct to indirect speech. Hope you remember that. Comma will be replaced by that while changing from direct to indirect, and also we are going to remove all the punctuation marks except full stop in the end of the sentence. So this is how you change from direct to indirect speech. The basic rule is this. The second rule we learned was how to change the pronouns. Fine. Whatever I, that is I, she, he, it, whatever the subject refers to, based on that there will be few changes that will be done in pronouns. So that was the second rule we learned. The third rule we learned was the change in tenses. The tenses actually change one tense prior. That means all the present tenses will be changed to past tense. All the past tenses will be changed to past perfect tense. However, the past perfect continuous tense, the continuous perfect tenses will not have any changes in them. Fine. This is what we learnt, and also we learnt when the reporting verb is in past tense, then only the words inside the quotation marks will change. The tenses have to be changed only when the reporting verb is in past tense. That means before the quotation mark you have a verb in it. So if that is in present tense or in future tense, you need not have to change whatever is there inside the quotation marks. So these are the rules we learnt yesterday. So today we are going to understand more. We will start with the modal verbs. So here the reporting verb is in past tense, then shall or will, which we use for future reference. Okay, so that also will be changing. That is from direct speech to indirect speech. When we change it, we need to change it to should or would respectively. Okay, so shall will be changed to should, will be changed to would respectively, according to this subject and the context. So let us have an example here. The teacher said, so you already remember that this is the reporting verb. Okay, the teacher said, I shall check the answer. So this is in direct speech and there is a modal verb here. Hope you remember shall, should, would, will, could, can, must, all these are called as modal verbs, and along with the modal verbs there has to be another verb that is used in the sentence always. So here you can see I shall check the answers. Shall is used here along with the verb, that is a modal verb is used. So how do you change it? According to the rule, shall will be changed to should. Fine. But here you cannot write should check the answers. But here you have to change it as she would check the answers. Fine. As a general rule, it will be changed to she should. But here, according to the context, so here there is another condition given, right? Based on the subject and the context, this has to be changed. So that's the reason I took this example. I shall check the answers. So teacher would be checking it in future. So that is the reference given. That is the reason here shall is changed to would. So based on the context, whenever it is going to happen, that is in future, so that time you need to be very careful. It is she would check the answer in this context. So this is how you change from direct to indirect when you are using shall and will. I'll give you a few more examples here. The modal auxiliaries, that is may and can. Fine. So these modal verbs are also called as modal auxiliaries because they are auxiliary verbs are nothing but helping verbs. Along with the verbs, they are also used. So here These modal auxiliaries may and can, right? So they are changed to might and could respectively. How do you do it? Let us see with an example here. My sister said to him, you can do this. So can is changed to could as per the rule here. So here you can see there is no condition of this context given. In the previous slide you saw based on the context you need to change it to should or would. But here there is no such condition given. So here my sister said to him, so that is the reporting part, that, so comma will be replaced by that he could do that. So here sister is telling to him. So this you is referring to him, not the sister. He could do it. Can is changed to could do that. So this, the main verb is actually retained as it is here. So here my sister said to him that he could do that. So here this is changed to that. Did you notice that? Because whenever you are directly telling it, you could do this. But whenever you are using indirect speech, that situation would have been over. Fine, you would have crossed that situation. So whenever you are talking in that person's absence, or whenever you are talking in the absence of that work, means that work will be over. Okay, so that time you have to use it in a different context. You have to use it when it is already over. Fine, so here it is that he could do that. Fine, you are telling it in the absence of that person, and also after that work has got over. So this is how you do it. I am taking another example of modal auxiliary here. I may be leaving tomorrow. So she said that she might. So may will be changed to might. That is a possibility. This is not going to happen. It might happen. There is a possibility of that happening or not happening also. So here you can see she said that she might be leaving the next day. So tomorrow I am changing it to next day. This is the next concept we are going to understand. Please concentrate only on may, might, can, could. That's it. Because this tomorrow, next day and all these are adverbs. This is the next concept that is going to be learned by us here. Fine. So may will be changed to might. Hope this concept of changing of modal auxiliaries is clear to you from direct to indirect speech. So we'll move on to the next one, that is change of adverbs or verbs indicating time or place. How do you change it? Just now you saw an example, and here is a table which is for your reference to understand which word will be changed to which word. So here you can see these are all the words that are used in direct speech. So these are the words that will be used in indirect speech when you are changing from there to here. Fine. So now will be changed to then. These will be changed to those. Here, there, today, that day. So here you can just refer this table. You can go to the previous slide for example. Fine. So she said to him that he could do this, you can do this. So this was changed to that. Like that only, these to those. So this way you are going to have some changes in adverbs and also the words that show some time or place or anything like that. Fine. So tonight it is for tonight. If it is today night, you might be speaking about that on some other day. Fine. So for that day, it would be the previous day. Means you are referring to this day only, that is the previous day. So something like that. So the reference point will be something different. So tonight, that night, tomorrow, the next day. You already saw this example, isn't it? So yesterday will be changed to the previous day. Last night, again the previous night. Ago, that is before. Fine. So these are the words in direct speech and these are the words that will be used in indirect speech. So there will be changes in adverbs also and also the words that show place and time also. Fine. So whenever you are reporting some universal facts, what is a universal fact? Some statement that is true always. So that is called as a universal fact. For example, sun is the center of the solar system. Earth goes around the sun, isn't it? That is always true. Cats drink milk. That is always true, isn't it? So this way, whenever you are reporting some verb, whenever some sentence is in direct speech, which is a universal fact, and you are going to change it from direct to indirect, that is, you are changing a statement that is a universal fact from direct speech to indirect speech, there is no need of changing whatever is there inside the quotation marks. Means you need not have to change the words of the speaker. So how do you do it? Let us see an example here. As I told you, universal facts laws or events and habitual actions. I go for a walk every morning. I do it every day, isn't it? It is my habit to go for a walk in the morning. Fine. So when somebody else is reporting that time they need not have to use that she went for a walk every morning. No, she goes for a walk only because every day she does it. Fine. So here habitual actions also need not have to be changed. The verbs in those statements need not have to be changed. So their reporting verb, whatever is there in the indirect form, remains the same like in direct speech. Whatever is there in direct speech, the same thing you will retain in indirect speech also. Here, for example, the teacher said the earth goes round the sun. So here you can notice this is simple present. Okay. So this is in simple present tense. But as per the rule, if this is in past tense, whatever is there inside will change to the respective past tenses, even though this is in simple present. So how do you change it? As per the rule, this should have been changed to the earth went round the sun. But here you can see this is a statement of fact. This is always true. It is not like yesterday the earth was going around sun, today it is not going around. No, that is not the case. It is true always. So here you are going to retain the statement as it is. The earth goes round the sun. Fine. Here it is past tense. Still you retain this as it is. So this is a statement of fact. Hence you are not changing any of the tenses of these verbs that is there inside the quotation mark. So now how do you change from interrogative sentence to indirect speech? What is an interrogative sentence? Any sentence that you use to ask questions. Any sentence that has a subject and ends with a question mark in the end of the sentence is called as an interrogative sentence. It starts with a questioning word like why, what, how, who, like this. Okay, so these are interrogative sentence. Hope you are aware of the four basic types of sentences. Assertive sentence, that is declarative sentence. Second one is interrogative sentence. Third one is exclamatory sentence. The last one is imperative sentence. Fine. Assertive sentence is just a statement. It has a subject and ends with a full stop in the end of the sentence. Interrogative sentence, as I said, it's a questioning sentence. Exclamatory sentence, you are expressing your feelings there, be it anger, shock, you are exclaiming. So this way you are giving out your feelings, you are expressing your feelings over there. Then last comes the imperative sentence. So in imperative sentence, there are instructions, there are orders, there are requests, and there are wishes also. So these are the four basic types of sentences. Here we are going to understand interrogative sentences to be changed from direct to indirect speech. So here you can see the reporting verb said will be changed to these words. Fine, it will be changed to asked, inquired, demanded, queried. So all these, anything you can use based on the context. Fine. So this reporting verb I'm talking about, that is the verb that is there before the quotation mark has to be changed here. Fine. So here you can see asked, inquired, demanded, queried. So all these are words that express a kind of question. So let us see an example here. Nidhi said to Nisha, how did you write your examination? So this starts with a questioning word and there is a question mark. So you understand it is a question that Nidhi is asking Nisha. Fine. So she said to Nisha. Here it is not written she asked Nisha. It is written she said to Nisha. So this you are going to change it to Nidhi asked Nisha. So this comma, there will be no that here. It will be directly starting from how. Fine. So Nidhi asked Nisha how she had written. This is in past tense. So this will change to past perfect tense. Fine. Had and V3 form of the verb. So how she had written the examination, and in the end you are not putting a question mark because the sentence is starting with Nidhi asked Nisha. It is not starting with how because we have removed the quotation mark. We are not using the exact words of the speaker. So we are reporting it. When we are reporting it, it becomes a mere statement, not a questioning sentence. So this is how you change from direct to indirect, that is interrogative sentence. So next, let me just give you another example. They said to her, again said is used, which question word, okay. So which dress do you want? Again a question mark in the end. So you change this to indirect speech. Again, as I told, just refer this sentence. So they inquired her which dress she wanted. Yes, you can use asked also. Fine. So asked, enquired, demanded, whatever. Fine. You can just write over here. They asked her which dress she wanted. This is not a questioning sentence anyhow. So you have to write a full stop in the end and not a question mark. So this is how the quotation marks are removed and it is just made a mere statement. So this is how you change from interrogative sentence, direct speech to indirect speech. Fine. If the question begins with a verb, suppose there is a verb in the beginning of the sentence. For example, maybe usually you use this auxiliary verb also in order to ask a question, isn't it? Will you do it? Does anybody have a pencil or something like that? So that begins with an auxiliary verb also. Not only with questioning words, sometimes it begins with an auxiliary verb also. So that time, how do you change it? So here is an example. If the question begins with a verb or an auxiliary verb, the joining word must be if or whether. Means you are not writing that. Instead of that, you are doing this. So, for example, he said to me, will you, this is an auxiliary verb, will you listen to such a man? There is a question mark. It is a question which begins with an auxiliary verb. So how do you do it here? He inquired of me or he asked me, that is also fine. He inquired of me if or whether, anything is fine. Fine. So will is replaced by this, whether I would listen. So you remember, will is changed to would, isn't it? Whether I would listen to such a man. Fine. So will has to be replaced by this only. You refers to me there. Okay, so somebody is asking me, right? So whether I will listen to that person. So I is the pronoun that you have to use over here. So he inquired of me if or whether I would listen to such a man. Another example, they said to him, again it's said here, the reporting verb is said here, but it begins with an auxiliary verb here. So they said to him, do you want someone to help you? It is a questioning sentence again. So here they can say, they asked him. So it's a questioning word. So I'm using asked. You can use inquired also. So they asked him if or whether he wanted someone to help. So this do you refers to him there. So I have used he over here. Fine. Whether he wanted. So present tense will change to past tense. So everything you have to keep in mind. All the rules work together when you are changing from direct to indirect speech. We have learned one by one, but you need to combine all the rules together whenever you are changing like this. So he wanted someone to help him. Again, this you refers to him only. So again, a him is used. So this is how you change from interrogative. You change an interrogative sentence from direct speech to indirect speech. So how do you change exclamatory sentences? Exclamatory sentences, as you know, they give out our sudden feelings. So we need to express those feelings in words whenever we are changing from direct to indirect speech. So how do we do that? The reporting verb said to is changed into, so these are the words which we are going to use. So exclaimed, prayed, all these are the words that have to be used instead of this reporting verb. So let us see an example. He said, wow, there is an interjection. Interjection has to be avoided in indirect speech. Wow, the sea looks amazing. So wow is a kind of exclamation, isn't it? I am surprised. I am overwhelmed that the sea is amazing. So how do I express this? He exclaimed. So wow will be replaced by exclaimed. But am I happy? Yes, I have exclaimed with joy. So I use this. He exclaimed with joy that the sea looked amazing. So here you can see looks present tense. Here it is past tense. Of course, here you can ask me, the sea looks amazing. Probably it is a statement of fact you are talking about. No, now we are only talking about the expression, the feeling of that person who is talking. So this is a temporary arrangement here. This is not a statement of fact. For him, the sea may look amazing, but for me, it may not be amazing. Okay, but the earth goes round the sun for you also, for me also, for anybody else also, isn't it? So this is not a statement of fact. So I'm changing it from present tense to past tense. Fine. Another example, she said, God, please help me. So she is helpless. She is asking for help from God. So how do we change it? She prayed. Of course, she is praying to God, isn't it? So she is not asking God, she is praying to God. So you can use that word, she prayed to God for help. Fine. So this help me, it is changed to for help over here. Fine. Here in exclamatory sentence, you have a liberty to use your own sentences. Fine. There is no rule that you need to change this pronoun to this like this. Okay. Of course, if it is a pronoun part, you need to change it. But here in such cases, whenever it is praying for help or exclaiming something like this, so that time you need not have to keep in mind all the rules. You need to just change the direct to indirect only with the reference to context. So this what we learned was this exclamatory sentence how it is changed. So how the interjections are used. Hope you just now saw what is an interjection here. So you can see over here. So these are the interjections that we used in this sentence. So how do you change those interjections here? So here you can see these are the possible interjections that will be there in a sentence. So I'm just giving you examples. So something related to this, you can use these words only. Fine. So this hurrah, aha, wow, all these, okay. So that is something done with joy. Fine. So oh, what, how, all these, they are all actually with surprise. What a surprise. Oh, you got it. So something like this. Fine. So this is all done with surprise. Bravo, somebody you appreciate. Bravo, you have done a great job. So applauded or appreciated. Applauded is to clap or to praise somebody. Fine. So that is how you change it. Alas, ah, you use this whenever you are in despair. Okay. Exclaimed with sorrow or grief. Whenever somebody dies, alas, he is dead. So this way you use it. That is used whenever we are in sorrow, whenever we are expressing grief. Then sorry, you express your helplessness. So exclaimed with regret. So you are helpless. You are not able to do anything. That is, you are regretting for not doing something. So you exclaimed with regret. Then expressed attention, that is has, hush, means you call somebody, right? Shh, come here, you say. So that is nothing but expressed attention. He expressed attention by calling his name. Shh, come here, maybe Tom or something like that. He expressed attention towards Tom by calling his name. So this is how you change it. So whenever you have interjections, you have a liberty of using your own words. So this is left to you. You can use it as the context demands. Okay, so this was the second part of what we had to learn in changing from direct to indirect speech. So in both the sessions, we have learnt about the basic rules which we have to follow while changing from direct to indirect speech. Hope these sessions were useful to you. Let us meet again with another most interesting session. So till then, keep learning. Any doubt, we are always there to clear your doubts in the physical classes. So keep learning, children. Let us meet shortly. Bye-bye. Take care.